Well, today we're going to talk a little bit about the trainings that we offer with Main Street Alabama. We have lots of different opportunities for people to get involved, anywhere from webinars to quarterly trainings. We have our own conference called the Summit, and then we are actually joining 3 other states that we lovingly call the Llamas: Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi, and Arkansas for Destination Downtown.
So one of the things that we have talked about that we wonder sometimes if people understand is all the training that Main Street Alabama actually does across the state. We do trainings from anything from Zoom meetings that last an hour and a half to full day trainings to 3.5-day conferences.
So if you want to know more about downtown revitalization and how to get involved in it, it's a really good place to get started. Our trainings are open for anybody to attend. Just be looking on our website for an opportunity to register.
Or follow us on our social media as well. We do a lot of posts on social media about our trainings that are coming up, as well as you will start seeing some posts about our conferences, as well as our exciting Quad State Conference that we're just getting ready to join that starts next year.
Great. So today we're here to talk about training, and I'm joined by Isaiah from 4th Avenue Business District and Kirk from Montevallo Main Street. Going to ask them some questions, but first let's hear about them and their journey in Main Street. So I'll start with you, Isaiah.
Okay. Well, thank you for having me on, Mary. First of all, I'm glad to be here. Glad to be able to do work within Main Street, Alabama as a designated community. I'm Isaiah, of course. I've been at Urban Impact for a little over a year now. I have a background in urban planning and spatial data analysis. Graduated from Alabama A&M with a degree in urban planning, minor in philosophy.
Ooh, that's an interesting combination.
Coupled it specifically because I like to know, I wanted to learn how to have the conversation to understand why people think the way they think and how to have constructive conversations about community. And so that's kind of where I'm coming from.
Very
But
cool.
I'm very young, very new to the field, wanted to learn a lot. So I'm glad to be here to talk to you guys.
Exciting. I remember in college, I had a philosophy class, and I was a freshman. I'm going, this class is great because you can't be wrong. No matter what you say, you're going to be right. Then didn't pursue it as part of my degree, but it was a very, very fun class. So, Kirk, let's hear from you.
Well, I'm Kirk Lightfoot from Montevallo. I grew up in Montevallo all my life, and I attended schools in Montevallo, including the University of Montevallo. I retired as Chief of Audiology and Speech Pathology at the Birmingham VA Medical Center. And when I retired, I said I wanted to get involved in the community. So I jumped in with both feet into Main Street, along with several other organizations, and hit the floor running and hasn't stopped.
It has been quite the ride for Montevallo and 4th Avenue, of course, too. But Montevallo has been in since what year were you designated?
We are 10 years old this year.
Old. So 2016 is when they came on, and I remember meeting with your then mayor, Holly, and the excitement around the program and all the things that were going on. Your current mayor was very engaged. We were just in Montevallo for our board meeting last week. So, and it's one of the loveliest cities. And we've had Courtney on the program too, and she rocks. She
does rock. She
is.
Keeps us stable.
One of the coolest things I think I see from Montevallo is you travel in packs in a good way. When you come to training, several come to training. When you go to the national conference, several go to the national conference. So there's been a real buy-in from Montevallo to attend the training. Can you tell us a little bit about that mindset?
Well, we think that if the more people that we expose to the what Main Street is all about and the ideals of Main Street, we think that we get more buy-in, and we also get more creative thinking when they go to see what other people and other communities are doing. So we went to the National Convention last month, and we took our city mayor with us and 2 council people and 8 board members and a couple of committee members included in that 8. So we had a big crowd. And like you said, we do travel in packs. We always take the most to the state meetings.
Always do, yeah.
Yeah. So
Yes.
it's a very close-knit group, and we have a lot of fun, but we also get a lot done too. We're very proud of the work that Main Street's doing in Montevallo.
Great. So Isaiah, you guys kind of did that as well when you went to Tulsa, is where the conference was at. So how many did Urban Impact send this last time?
Yeah, we had at national conference this year the entire team. About 7 of us.
Oh, they're creeping up on
So about 7 of us went. It was a good way for the whole team to get a good kind of comprehensive view of Main Street and kind of the different types of communities that are involved, and how we all kind of approach it differently, but it's all towards the main thing, but the main end goal. But I think it was great. We had a couple of our team members really inspired by some of the sessions. I know we had a good, hearty conversation about Shenandoah Noah from Shenandoah Valley up there, and that was really good. So we really enjoyed it.
That's great. And you never know where you're going to see a Main Streeter. So I was in D.C. at the doing the Advocacy Day, the fly-in day for Main Street America. And I came back to my hotel after visiting all of our folks. And who's there?
Yeah, I was at the Esri Now Fed conference,
So we
Esri
have to
Fed
be
Now conference in
at the
DC.
same place at the same time. Like he walks over and I go, "What are you doing here?" So it was fun because they were getting ready for a design committee meeting. And he was zooming in. I said, "I'll zoom in with you." So you just never know when you're gonna your team.
That was felt like a dream. I was like, why am I seeing Mary here? She's not supposed to be here.
Supposed to be in DC. So you just never know where people are going to show up. But that's very cool. I think what I love best about the national conference, and I've said this many times, is you're there with 2,500 or so people who are just as weird as you are, who are just as engaged and just as excited and just
Fellow nerds.
they really are. And it's really great environment to be in from that perspective. So I'm going to start asking you some of the actual questions. So the first one was, we'll start with Isaiah. Okay. How does Main Street Alabama's training, so we talked a little bit about the national training, but our training equip a district to revitalize your downtown in a sustainable long-term way? What do you learn that lets you carry it through in a sustainable way?
I would say one of the top things that I appreciate about Main Street training that equips us is the four key principles, really, and how it lays it out in a way where you're able to kind of bring it back to your community organically and let your community kind of tell you how that's going to look for them and how that conversation looks for them. And so building around that, because I believe that community comes before the capital comes personally. Like, I feel like people feel a place is special and then they invest into a place, right? And so when you're able to organically make people respect an intangible thing through the training, through understanding, okay, you have an interest in, everybody in the community seems to listen to you when you speak or you suggest something. So how can I get a group of you all stakeholders into a room, and how do we grow this design committee or this steering committee or this promotion committee into something that is an agent in our community? And I think that the Main Street training lays the groundwork to let the community define that for what it is themselves. And I love that about that. I love that about it.
Very cool. What about you?
Well, every state conference that I've been to, I've obtained so much information, but also it makes me think, because I can't do the same things that some of these bigger towns are doing. We have about 7,800 people in our town, and it's a lot of rural area that's included in those numbers too. So we have to really think creatively about our town. We don't have a town square because we do have a state road that runs right through the middle of our main street. But going to the different towns and to the different meetings, we've obtained lots of good information. I know in Monroeville, one of the greatest things that I think I've enjoyed throughout all the Main Street trainings that I've been to, including the national conferences, was a lady from North Alabama. I can't remember her name, but she talked about communication preferences of the different generations, and how we reach out to them with our media and information about what's going on in our community.
Yeah.
And that was very, very helpful to me.
It was so cool. It was learning how to communicate across generations.
Yes, and
Very interesting
that was an excellent conversation. And also, startup businesses, we've been able to bring back lots of information for businesses that are starting up with, and we started co-starters. I think we've got, I can't remember exactly how many classes we've had in co-starters to assist new business owners and old business owners too in learning principles of setting up a business. And we brought that information back and have shared that with lots of our businesses. And the AI, we were talking about AI earlier.
Oh, yeah, we had that in Jasper last year.
And that was excellent as well, learning about that, because an old timer like me, didn't know that much about AI, but as a matter of fact, I've really enjoyed playing around with it, and I have to introduce a graduation ceremony tonight at our preschool at our church, and I actually asked ChatGPT to write my introduction for me.
There you go.
And so even the old dogs can learn new tricks.
There you go.
But fundraisers also. Suggestions about fundraisers, and I think that's been really good. We have a great fundraiser, our version of Mardi Gras that we call Monte Gras, and so for Montevallo. So that's been a fundraiser. Then we can take those dollars and put them back into our district.
Yeah,
Right.
and I think your point to scaling is so important, because you will get an idea from the training, and you're looking at, and some people just can't wrap their heads around, oh, well, if Birmingham does this and I only have a population of 7,000, I can't do that. Well, you can. It's just about scaling it up or down to meet the needs of your particular district. So when you're talking about co-starters, 1,000 years ago, when I was a local director, we were at a training and we learned about SYOB, start your own business. And it was a whole class of things that we were learning how to do. And I go, can we do this? And we ended up doing it. And to your point of talking to entrepreneurs who we were trying to attract to fill our empty spaces in our district, half of the class was business owners who'd been in business for years, going, we want to learn this stuff too. So it was really fun, kind of a neat way of looking at how do we take something that you would think people would know but still are yearning to know more about, or I didn't have any of this kind of training when I started and I would like to learn more. Really good stuff. So okay, well, I will kick it back to Isaiah. What are some of the most common challenges that you see communities face when they begin? Because you're a little bit newer in the process than Montevallo is now. And how does the training help them overcome those hurdles? So what challenges do you face, and then what resources, you don't always have to be training, can we help you with to help get over those hurdles?
Yeah. I would say coming into the field new into a designated community, it's like you have this expectation that everybody wants to save the world too. And so like they tell you when you and they tell you when you're in planning school, like, you're going to get out there and you're going to feel like everybody's going to just understand we're all going to save the world together. And that's kind of it. Generally, everybody wants to see their community be better, but, or improve, but it's not going to be as rapid as you thought. Right. So it's
never as fast as you wanted to.
So I think that, a barrier is under helping property owners and business owners and residents and community members understand the value of bridging capital.
Yes.
And how important it is just to simply know your neighbor and just be aware of what they do and what they're involved in and what they have going on, so that we can start to make connections within the community. And so I would say that part of the Main Street training helps us to understand how to identify key stakeholders in the community and connect them in strategic ways.
Yeah.
So that, for instance, if you are, let's say so particularly last year when I first started, I did a survey to kind of track district sentiment in the 4th Avenue district to understand how individuals who came down to the district on a normal basis or consistent basis felt about different aspects of the district. And one of the things that we particularly paid attention to was individuals' attitudes after 5 o'clock in downtown on the north side, right? And so strategically looking at, okay, how do we engage or use Main Street as an agent to help to mend this kind of sentiment, right? And so you say, okay, what's already happening? We only had one thing that was really happening after 5, and that was the Carver Theater Jazz Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
They have a jazz happy hour every Thursday from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m., right? And so it's been going on for about, I want to say a little over a year now, I would say, but it's become very popular that people coming from out of the community into the community at 5 p.m. on a Thursday to come. I'm talking to different apartments. We have 2 like high-rise apartments in our district. So talking to the community managers about letting the residents
know that's smart. Yeah.
about what's going on. But okay, so how do we build around that, right? Because what Main Street teaches you is like, you can try to bring as many things as you want to a community, but just take the time and read the room in a community and see what you can build off of, right? And so, okay, so 5 to 7 happy hour, Main Street, Alabama, and Mary graciously gave us a grant to help with banners and to help with activation in the district. So
not me personally, Main Street, Alabama.
Mary reached out of her pocket and gave us some money. But we implemented a movie night, outdoor screening of 4th Avenue flicks, right? And strategically, we learned a lot with it, but we decided, we need to move this thing to Thursday nights with the movie starting at 7.
Yeah,
right?
That's smart.
Turn the music on outside at 6, right when the jazz happy hour is phasing down. Let individuals, and it's on the same corner. So we put it on the corner on History Park with the amphitheater right outside.
That's smart.
And so you come out of jazz happy hour, and the idea is that, okay, people start to feel comfortable here after 5. And the first time we did it at History Park, we played a Key Lynn the Bee. And it was a nice weather outside, but the energy I felt at the corner of 4th and 17th, I hadn't felt that in 4th before. And so I believe that the bridging capital of, seeing, you all have this going on. We plan to do this. How can we tie this together? And then when people saw that energy, you see people breaking their necks at the red light trying to understand
what's going on.
All this going on down because they're used to the intersection, but they're not used to the energy at that intersection. And so I believe that that we're still working on different aspects of it, but that's helped for that barrier.
Well, and it's really having communities understand that throwing spaghetti against a wall is not helpful. Let's do quality over quantity. So we're going to do something every month. Well, after 3 months, everybody's starting to get tired and fatigued. And so you're very smart in tying to something that was already existing that you could add on to. So yay, I'm glad to hear that. Yes. What about Montevallo?
Well, our city's a little over 200 years old, and we have a lot of feelings in Montevallo that, we've never done that before, but so why do we need to do it now?
Right.
And so there are a lot of things that we're doing. Is just like what Isaiah was talking about. We have Friday nights at the Cove that have worked to make people aware that Main Street is still viable at nighttime. So we get Friday nights about 4 times during the summer months. We have a band come in for a free concert. And so the people that are coming to the concert can go to the restaurants around Montevallo. And
they're by UMOM.
Yes.
Okay.
By UMOM.
Yeah.
And we have a stage there, and we can get food and bring it in and have our dinners, have dinner there with a blanket, and it's really nice to hear local bands and a lot of Montevallo residents have grown up and become members of bands, and so that's fun to bring them back, and then very diverse collection of artists that we have come in there. But then we have the feelings also of our historic preservation. We recently had to take down an old car dealership that was so dilapidated, and but we had another need in Montevallo. We needed a hotel. And so we built we're in the process of building a beautiful hotel there now that will meet many needs.
Right in the downtown. It's great.
Right in the district. Exactly. That's just a few steps from the University of Montevallo to a few steps to the park. Everything's on Main Street, food, and maybe they're there for Friday nights at the Cove, but certainly a lot of activities at the college with athletic events and then
all the parents coming to visit.
All parents, that's right, and students coming back to homecoming and things like that. So we have a few bed and breakfasts around Montevallo, but we needed that. So changing the feelings about what Montevallo has to offer. But also we have to work with our merchants to make sure that they're sustainable. Mm-hmm. And so we've offered a lot of activities. One of the greatest things I think was that our director, Courtney Bennett, just developed a worksheet, a check sheet for new merchants coming in as to what they need to do to help them get started.
That's smart.
She's got some financial information on there, but also she.
We're both going, Courtney needs to share. That's what I'm writing down.
Courtney could share a lot.
Yes, she can.
She's a dynamo. But also just the city license, the county license, the inspections, the historic preservation aspect of starting a new business. You're going to take down the windows that are so beautiful and replace them with something that's not. And so we have that, and then we have a committee that the city has formed called Design Review. And so they look at what you're doing to the facade of the building. Mm-hmm. But then also we offer facade grants too. And so we're really proud of our facade grants. We've had a total investment of private investments of about $150,000 so far in Montevallo since we started our facade grants, and we've got 5 currently that we're just award the grants, and so we'll have over $200,000 at the end of these grants. Okay. That improvements just to our downtown and the district. Our Montevallo Main Street has contributed since 2018 about, I think it's close to $65,000.
Wow.
And so that's not including these 5 grants that we're going to be distributing, awarding this year. So we've got a lot of activities that are helping to address some of the revitalization worries that community have. We did a streetscape, and that disturbed everybody because we lost a lot of parking.
One of the prettiest in the state. Oh my gosh, it's so gorgeous.
At Christmas time, everybody rants and raves about how beautiful our city is, and it's an absolute hallmark. We've actually had a Hallmark movie, 2 Hallmark movies, or 2 movies set on our Main Street, but one of them was a Hallmark movie on our Main Street because it's like a Hallmark movie at Christmas time. We have a great Christmas parade there that brings in a lot of people too. And then,
it's beautiful.
So we've got a lot of minds that we need to help to change and help them understand why we're doing things that will help progress our city.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna switch up this last question a little bit, just because we are doing services in each of your communities right now. So I'm going to start with you, Isaiah. We're going to be there in June to do a branding and marketing campaign for 4th Avenue. I know this is something that you and Roy and other folks had really started to reach out and start looking at. Can you tell us a little bit about what's being built up around that, if there's some excitement, what your expectations?
Yeah. So, Roy Stoves, our Main Street director, since the brand that was in place right now was in place when he got there. Mm-hmm. And so he's been wanting to look at, okay, how do we start a real conversation with the community about our brand and to help them, because kind of like what Kirk was just mentioning, how do we change their minds to get to understand how the value of Main Street, but how do you get them vested, change their minds and get them vested in it and have them feel part ownership in it, right? And being a part of the conversation of how the community is perceived by others gives you ownership in that community. Like I help set in stone what is said and what it
this is how this came from my suggestion.
Right,
and it's happening with me, not to me, kind of thing. Yeah.
And I think that the opportunity that Main Street has afforded us is great because we have such a span of generations and professions in the district that it's going to be a really dynamic conversation we have. So like we have a kind of like part-time assisted living in
Yeah.
the district called Freedom Manor. And then we also have youth in the district in the summertime full, because Metropolitan AME Zion has their large youth program there in the summertime. So we're planning on having a conversation where we bring some of the youth and some of the elders from Freedom Manor.
A little different perspective.
Right. All perspective. And then some professionals, working professionals in the mix as well. So like, because particularly we're doing activation on the corner of 4th Avenue North and 16th Street.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so this consultation is going to be important, because this is going to be something that will be a pillar of kind of bringing people down from the Civil Rights District into the historic.
And it gives a visual that lets them know you're entering someplace different.
Right, right. And so how do we craft this space in a way where the community feels like it's theirs, and they want to use it and they want to protect it?
Well, I'm excited. I can't wait to get in there and work with you guys on that. I know we've provided branding to Montevallo quite some time ago, but right now we're in the process of providing a housing study and a market study update for Montevallo. And I know I'm putting you on the spot because I changed the question for you, but you want to tell us a little bit about do you know much about that service or?
Well, we're in the beginning stages of that.
Yes,
we're
very
about to
beginning.
start some surveys with different groups of people to come in, and we'll talk to them about their needs, highlighting some different areas of people and genres of people that to find out what they think our needs are in Montevallo. And that's going to be very challenging to assimilate all that information, and then how do we put it to use, and trying to find some ideas about the need for more housing in Montevallo.
The density near your district is so walkable and so beautiful. I mean, because the streetscape, again, is one of the loveliest in the States, but it's so walkable. So having that, density near the district will help those businesses as well.
Absolutely.
And it's also so close to Orr Park that you can easily get there. You can easily get to the university. It's the blessing of a smaller community, but the density near that's really what we're looking at, is how can we build density near the district? More people living, more people spending money there, more people engaged in what you're doing. So when I reached out to Courtney going, hey, you're 10 years in, what would you like? She goes, we really could use some housing study issues. So that's kind of when we get to the point where you've been in a while, we don't forget you. I was a director for a long time, and I really was to the point of, okay, I know how to do the 4 points: promotion, design, economic vitality, and organization. I get that. I get all the basic stuff, but I really need help with something that's more advanced. So those are the kinds of things we're really offering our communities now, is to have those more advanced trainings or advanced services. So for instance, we're going to be going to Foley to work with them on how to build up their own local investment group. Very cool stuff. So we meet people where they're at. So we're doing 3 services in 3 communities. All of them are wildly different. And that's why I like my job. It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
It's never the same thing.
Yes.
From one day to the next.
You have to have many tools in your box to work for Main Street.
Exactly. Well, thank you guys for being here. Do you have any final words you'd like to leave the audience with?
I do. If you're not interested in something right now, look into Main Street if you have one in your community. I tell you what, this has just been the greatest opportunity for me, and like I said, I jumped in with both feet and hadn't stopped running since. And but take on this, or become a part of their board, or just become a volunteer. We have so much need in our communities that volunteers can fill, and we have in 2025 we had 5,291 volunteer hours by 35 volunteers. So this is something that can be so beneficial to every community, and working with Mary has just been a challenge. It's been a challenge because she's always making us do things and introducing us to things, and we always enjoy being with Mary.
There's so much more out there.
Yeah, there is. That is. And so I encourage you to become involved with Main Street, a wonderful organization.
Definitely. I want to echo that. If you are a local artist, creative, if you have some kind of trade skill that could be valuable, offer your help, offer your time if you can, if that's something that you feel pulled towards. And also I also want to say, find a local shop or a local service in a main street that is something that you buy somewhere else, or identify a service or a product within a local shop that you would typically buy from a large chain, and see how that could serve you better, or it could serve you just as good. I would encourage you to shop local.
Wow, that is
great.
great advice. He says I'm challenging. He says to shop local. No, it's all good. I do like to challenge the communities to do bigger and better things, because
That's why we love you, Mary.
Main Street is to help you in your district over time, because things change. And when I was a local director, we had about 40% vacancy in our downtown, and parking was not a problem when you don't have very many businesses downtown. There's always a place to park. But the first day that somebody came in and complained that there was no parking, it was like, hot dog. Well, then, okay, now we got to figure out how to deal with the parking management of what we have, or we've got to get people living upstairs downtown, or we need to, here in Alabama, we need workforce housing desperately in the state of Alabama. Well, guess what? We have a lot of upper stories in Alabama and our Main Street cities who could be really great workforce housing. So those are the things, that you don't get to see every day, but that's all the stuff that's spinning in the head. It's frightening in here. But we are always moving it forward and having a good time. So thank you so much.
We are having a good time.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you for being here. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you. Thank you for inviting us.
Take care.
Yes, likewise. Thank you.
As you can tell, people really do enjoy our quarterly trainings. We really want to thank the folks who did take time out to visit with us, and we're very excited about.
We have a new conference coming up, a 4-state conference. That'll be in September of 2027. But the best way to keep up with everything we're doing, because it's a lot, is if you check our social media accounts and also our website at www.mainstreetalabama.org.
If you have questions that you would like to pose to us on maybe future episodes of the Sweet Hometowns podcast, just send those to info@mainstreetalabama.org.
You can learn more about Main Street Alabama and the Sweet Hometowns Initiative at sweethometowns.com, or follow us on Facebook and Instagram for updates and episode highlights.
The Sweet Hometowns podcast is a production of Main Street Alabama in partnership with Video Visions Media Marketing.